Have you ever noticed that both sides of an argument are usually saying the same thing, just louder and with different words and different wounds? What if we stopped trying to win and started listening for what's underneath? Because here's the truth, nobody wants to say out loud. We all want the same things, but over time, we stopped meeting each other with curiosity and started showing up with defenses. Let's talk about that. Hello, fellow heart travelers. I'm Christopher Box, and welcome to my channel. This is where I share real, lived-in wisdom about what it means to be human, to love deeply, to set boundaries with grace, and to come home to yourself again and again. Today is the 4th of July, and while fireworks are going off and people are celebrating freedom, I've been sitting with a deeper question. What does freedom really mean if we're just using it as an excuse to hurt each other? Because lately, it seems like freedom has been twisted into this idea that I can do whatever I want to you if I think you deserve it. And if you don't do what I want, I'm justified in punishing you. But let's be honest, that's not freedom. That's retaliation dressed up in moral outrage. And the truth is, most of us want the exact same things. We want to feel safe. We want to be understood. We want to be accepted, nourished, and cared for. We want to love and be loved. And when we strip it all down, that's it. That's the entire story. But we've built an entire world on the idea that those needs are somehow different depending on what side of the street you stand on. But at the heart of it, we all have the same core needs. And just like little Kim, I've seen a lot of faces and I've been to a lot of places. I've traveled the world. I've met and befriended many people from completely different cultures and belief systems. And beneath the surface, the way they move, the things they say, the way they care for their families, it all points back to the same desire, to be okay, to belong, to thrive. So the real question is, why do we keep pretending we're so different? Because we're not. Here's the thing, this video isn't just some philosophical wandering. I want this to be practical and honest about how we actually start changing this. Because sitting around complaining with people who already agree with you, that's not activism, friends. That's emotional self-soothing. And I get it. I've done it too. But echo chambers don't grow hearts. They just harden opinions. Bring it, bring it. And I've seen this energy on all sides, including the queer community of which I belong. Folks who are passionate and loving, but sometimes operating from the same exact wound as the people they oppose. It goes something like this. If you hurt me, then I get to hurt you back. If you don't agree with me, then I'll cut you out. Sound familiar? It's the same cycle that continues, just different costumes. What we're actually doing is reenacting trauma instead of healing it. And often we mistake control for safety. I used to think setting boundaries meant cutting people out. Places, beliefs, and old versions of myself. This was me in 2020.
Snip, 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 snip.
I snipped and I snipped and I snipped and I snipped. I snipped so much that I kind of lost myself a little bit. I ended up losing some people, places, and things that I honestly regret doing. Sometimes we miss the opportunity for the contrast. I don't want to be in an echo chamber where everybody agrees with me. And so learning how to cultivate tools that allow you to be in the orbit of somebody who has opposing beliefs, that is the wisdom. Sometimes that is necessary, but I've learned that boundaries without reflection are just reaction. If it's triggering you, it's revealing something, and that something deserves your love, curiosity, and attention before you decide to cut it out. Sometimes that is necessary, but I've learned that boundaries without reflection are just reaction. A rule of thumb for me, if it's triggering me, it's revealing something, and that something deserves your love, curiosity, and attention before you decide to cut it out completely. So now, when something hits me, I don't ask, how do I get rid of this? I get curious. I ask, why is this here? What is this showing me? Then and only then can I respond from love and not from fear. Because love isn't something I perform. It's a state of being, and that state requires conscious tending. I remember visiting China for work back in 2007. To say the least, I was overwhelmed with the crowds, the noise, and the unfamiliar pace of life, and my mind instantly went into the us versus them mode. They're rude, they're intense, they don't get me, And then I caught myself. Who the hell was they? That was programming talking, not truth. So I decided to open up and I dropped the lens and I approached it with curiosity, kindness. And then people started inviting me into their homes for dinner, treating me like family. And then I realized we are not they, we are us. So what do we do about all this? Let me give you a few real grounded ways to shift the energy starting today. Number one, ask better questions. Instead of debating someone into submission, try asking questions like this. What makes this feel true for you? Can you tell me what you're most afraid of in this situation? What do you really want here beneath the anger? Redirect the conversation to the heart of the matter, not the surface disagreement. And the heart of the matter are the core needs that we all have. Number two, hold boundaries with grace. I've learned you can say no without condemnation. You can walk away without vilifying. You can protect your peace without pretending to be above it all. Number three, get out of the vacuum. Check your environment. If everyone around you agrees with you all of the time, you're probably not growing. Seek out respectful dialogue. Practice listening more than fixing. Not because you need to convert, but because connection is the point. Number four, my favorite, be the nervous system in the world you wish existed. When things get heated, when the energy spikes, don't match it. Anchor it, ground it, breathe, stay soft, respond, don't react. That's real power. That's called spiritual maturity. And that's how we break the generational cycle of emotional reactivity. And before we close, I want to say this plainly for anyone who needs to hear it. When I say the solution is to love deeper, love harder, and love from a different place, I mean it. I do not mean you allow people to harm you. I do not mean you excuse abuse, bigotry, or manipulation. This is not about spiritual bypass or turning the other cheek while your nervous system gets shredded. What I am saying is, if something triggers you, it's an opportunity, not a punishment. It's a signal. It's pointing to something in you that also needs attention, healing, or integration. Being an adult, being conscious means you can disagree with someone, even dislike what they're doing, and still hold your center. You don't need to collapse. You don't have to dominate. You get to stay sovereign. And yes, someone out there is going to say this.
I'm tired of being the one who has to be compassionate. They should know better.
And I hear you. But if you're here, then the chances are you're the one who can see the bigger picture. And you are being asked to lead. That doesn't mean tolerate abuse. It means respond from the deepest love you've cultivated, not the oldest wound you've carried. That's a big one. That's the work we are all being asked to do right now, and I believe you're strong enough to do it. So let me leave you with a few real questions, not for debate, but for reflection. What are the needs underneath the beliefs you struggle to understand in others? When was the last time you let a conversation transform you instead of just confirm what you already believe? What does love look like when it includes discernment and not just kindness? And if any of that stirred something in you, I'd love to hear what's alive for you right now in the comments. And if you're craving more spaces like this, and I think we all are, honest, heart-centered, a little bit raw, and a little bit mystical, check out my art and candles over at theheartdivision.com or come visit us in Eureka Springs, because this work, it's living here. And if you want to go even deeper, you can book a one-on-one session with me. Thanks for being here. Until next time, stay rooted, stay open, and never forget, love is a frequency and it's contagious.